Okay, this is Andrew versus cfbot round 2. The requirement here, the input is a kind of stylized computer program, and we have to do some replacements. So we get a bunch of lines of code, one line per entry in the array. So each entry in the input array will be a line of code, and some are real lines of code like this, and some are these comments, this style of comment, where coded in the comment is how we're replacing the line that comes before. So here's our typical input. These are the lines of code, and we can see that if db is set to 3, then we want to replace this line here with just this line there. And I guess we need to do that consistently. So if challenge ID equals 3, the output would be replace that line with the corresponding db3. So we've got some examples shown there, and that looks fiddly, but we can have a go. Okay, so this problem is called taskMaker. Let's start coding. So here's taskMaker coming in. The input is the source, challenge ID is the output, and I guess what we're going to have to do is to run over the lines of source code looking for challenge ID. So let's start a loop, and we're definitely going to be keeping hold of indexes here. So var I equals 0, I is less than source dot length, and I plus plus. Let's see if we can build up the solution as we go. So my return array is going to start out empty, and inside the loop, if we start off by, let's just push it onto the dot push source I. So we're just effectively, at the moment, we're just duplicating the output, and let's return a ret and see what that does. Okay, so if we look at some examples, inputs and outputs. So in the first example, there's the input. I've just output everything that came along, and what I should have done was to substitute this line here for, in this case, it was challenge ID was 3, so I guess this one here is the one that should have replaced that input. So if I look at the format of the special lines I'm looking for, they've got slash slash and slash slash. So I should be able to split the string into 3 different parts. This is the space at the beginning. This is the bit that's going to get thrown away. And this is the bit that's going to get jammed onto the first component. So let's split that string. So it's a triple. There should be 3 components, and that is source square brackets I dot split, and I think I can probably just split on slash slash. A little bit worried because I think split needs a regular expression normally, so I may have to backslash these. We'll just try it like that. So if trip.length equals 3, if there are 3 components, and if the middle component starts with db, so trip 1, and I'm looking for starts with, I think starts with is a JavaScript function. Let me just check. Starts with is it a string function? String prototype starts with, yep, that looks good. So does the string start with db? So the slash slash will have gone, and I should have db space. So if that's the case, this is going to be a replacer. Okay, so this is a special line, and if it's not a special line, then it's a normal line. So let's have a variable keeping track of the last normal line. Var last normal line index is 0 to start with. So we'll say last normal line index equals I. So we'll remember what the last line is, because we only want to accumulate if we are adding in, no, it's not index, it is ret.push, that's what I want. So let's copy that. So if it's not one of these special lines, I'm going to put it on the source, and I want to know where it went. So let's, at this stage here, let's remember the last normal line we put in, because we're going to replace that probably. So last normal line index equals ret dot length. So that tells us the last normal line we put in, and we're going to replace that here. Okay, so if we found a special line, what I'm going to do is say ret of last normal line index is going to be replaced with, so I want to reassemble the right line, which means that I'm looking for the first part of the triple, which has typically got the spaces in, and I want to add that to the final part of the triple, which is component 2. But I only want to do that if I've got a matching element. So that is the challenge ID, in this case is 2 or 3. So I'm looking to see if 2 or 3 is the answer. So I'll only do that replacement if I'm on the right one. So I need a bit more of a test. So that middle component's got db, so I'm looking for, it looks like they all start with db followed by a space followed by a number. This might work. So if that middle component, if trip1 equals db space, and then we add on string-wise challenge ID. That's looking good. So if that happens, then we're going to replace that last line, and we're not going to increment. Now I'm liking the look of that. Let's give it a go. Okay, so how are we doing? So my output, I seem to be duplicating the line, so I'm doing it more twice. So, I've got this line twice. Shouldn't be doing that, I meant to cut that out. Let's try it again. Oh, okay, that's pretty good. That was too easy. Alright, just to summarize what we're doing. We're running through, we're finding the special lines by splitting on these 3 characters. We're checking that there are 3 components and that the middle one starts with db space. This line here is for a normal line, so if it's a normal line, then I make note of what the last line it was that I changed, and I put that line in place. If the next line following is a special one, then it could well replace this thing here. And the line up, can't see any reason why I shouldn't submit. Let's go for it. Oh, nicely done. Okay, so that's challenge 2, taskMaker taken care of. Move on to the next challenge. Yeah, nice one.